Good afternoon and welcome back to Allergic to Stupidity and to Couple with Bev. There's my new line into this. Still allergic to stupidity. I'm sure all of you have been watching the news lately. We know the tariffs have come down and Canadians are being Canadians. We are nice, we are polite, but don't piss us off. And we had two NHL games. One was against Calgary, the other one was against the Senators. And in both cases, when the American anthem was played, they booed. In their own little way, they are sending the message loud and clear. Whether Donald Trump is going to listen, we don't know. But at least we're expressing what our feelings. And people across the country are going, we don't get this. What did we do wrong? Right? It's like the bully on the playground who suddenly comes and pushes the little kid off the swing with the little kid going, the little 6-year-old going, what did I do wrong? I'm supposed to be here. Same thing. But it's humorous to watch Canadians in all that infighting that's been going on with us from the west to the east to the north to the south over the last 4 or 5 years, especially since COVID. We're all coming together going, this is ridiculous. This is stupid. So it's just been very interesting to watch. And like him or not like him, or tired of him, I was very appreciative of the fact that Trudeau came out, said what he said. I listened to the whole speech. And basically said, guys, this is going to be tough. But we're Canadians. We can do this. So it was very upbeat, and I really, really liked it. Now, promised myself that today's chit chat, today's cuppa, was going to be a little more upbeat. There is a store in Okanagan Valley, inner BC. It's called iThrift, and everything in that store is $2 or less. Now, they don't have to buy anything, so it's everybody's donating it. Like, don't know what else to do with it. Let's just donate it to iThrift. And kids' clothes are 50 cents a piece. And the only one, kids grow through their stuff like there's no tomorrow. So here's a really nice way that a business is making a living and helping other people. And people have no problems donating stuff to him because it didn't cost them very much. He said with the cost of food and the cost of this, and now with the tariffs, people are appreciating the fact that this is reasonable. And the journalist asked him, are you making money? He said, I'm making more money than I need to pay my bills. He said, I'm not making $10 billion. He said, but I'm more than making enough to pay my bills and keep a roof going, the lights on. So that's sort of the mentality we all need to go. And I don't think it's just because we're heading, it's cold outside and I got a runny nose. It's not just because of what's going on. It's not just the tariffs. It's not just the world upside down. We all need to, or majority of us, need to reevaluate what we really need. Now, I am self-employed. This is my rant channel. But I am self-employed. And I charge, for my students what people can afford. I am not charging what other people. They're in the community over east of me. There are rates going up to $120, $140 an hour for a tutor. And these aren't university tutors, because if you're in university and need help, go see the TA to your prof. I've had people call me, can you help me with such and such? I went, yeah, more than likely, but why don't you go to the TA? They're getting paid to do that, because that's how I made it through university, was being a TA. So I will direct them. But for the parents that are trying to help their child in school, in this time, $140 is ridiculous. And I just got a new client, and she said, oh, thank you. And I said, why? She said, because she'd looked at a tutoring service, and it was $60. And other ones she'd looked at was $85 an hour. And I did in defense of those tutoring services. I went, they do have overhead, I don't, right? Because I only service my immediate vicinity and marketplaces on Facebook. So I'll put it on Facebook, marketplaces, but for that it's online. So I'm not leaving my house. So his point in the iThrift in BC and myself is, he's setting his prices that are going to help other people, that people can afford, that is going to make him enough money to pay the bills. He's not out to be the next Bezos or the next Elon Musk. He's just living his life and making a positive difference. Okay? And that's where we all need to be, not just because of now, but period. We don't need to be making $10 billion. And as people who have been there at people's deathbeds, they're never wishing they made more money. They're usually wishing they spent more time with their family. So on a more upbeat note, or a change of pace, I talked about how much money I had spent on groceries in October, November, December. And it ranged about $900 to $1,000 a month. And then I tried to do December with zero food waste. We know how well that went. But my January, which just finished, obviously, was really good. And I had one half rotten pepper that I got shoved to the back. And that was, okay, my crows are getting that one. Since the crows are now to the point they're cheating off the raccoons, off the dinner plate, as they call it. But the only other thing I had to throw out, was one that got shoved to the back and forgotten about. And I went, oh, what's that? And I asked everybody in the house and nobody knew what it was. And when nobody knows what it is, it's going in the recycling bin. It's gone. And then somebody had donated me a vegan soup, or donated it to my daughter when she was down. And she said, here, Mom, a vegan soup. And I went, yeah, okay. I don't like broths. It just feels like I'm eating flavored water. I like a nice, thick soup. So, but that's really good. That's such an improvement over December's base. So I'm going to keep that one going and see how I can do at not wasting food. And one of the advantages is because I'm doing this, my fridge isn't getting it overstuffed, and there I'm not forgetting things. Now, I would use the leftovers on my veggies to make a vegetable stock, but my deep freeze has like 4 or 5 containers of vegetable stock already sitting there, so it's like, I'll feed the raccoons. Now, the next thing, and I started this a while ago, but it just, bingo, like 10 minutes ago, was on CTV. It was out of British Columbia, in Vancouver, and this young lady really wanted to buy herself a house. So she decided she was going to save $150,000. Like, I had to think twice when she said $150,000 as a down payment. And her logic was sound. It was she didn't want to have a big mortgage. So it was $150,000. And she did it by collecting cans. Now, in British Columbia, I get the impression that you return your cans for money, like 5 cents a can kind of mentality. And so she was just collecting it, and all her neighbors were going, oh, here. And they were all giving her their cans, because that way they don't have to return it, and they're doing their neighbor a favor, and it's only 5 or 10 cents, etc. And then other people started donating her things that she could sell in the marketplace. So she is $100,000 towards having that $150,000. And she's only been doing it for 3 years. I was like, holy cow. Me with my little, what I'm about to do, that's fantastic. So what I've done is I literally made, and I did this last year, made a list, each one of these pieces of, graph paper. Yes, I love graph paper. Has each one of my debts on it, not counting the mortgage. Okay? And there's a rule in the house, whoever takes the empties back gets the money. And I take the empties back, so I get the money. And LOL, the guys at the beer store know already, because I go to the same one all the time. And they do it, and they do you don't want anything, do you? I went, nope, thank you for the money. Okay? And I literally have a piggy bank. These are the most cutest, adorable. This was Kraft peanut butter years ago. And this is the man, and then there was one with pearls around her neck, which is a lady, and I have one of each of them. And I just, as I bring the money in from the beer store, I just plunk it in there and fill it up. And when there's enough to roll it, it gets rolled up and put in the other piggy bank just so I can say, okay, there's. Then when I've got enough, ATM machines for some obscure reason don't take change. I wonder why. However, I go down to my banker and deposit it. And the first time I walked in, he went, "Oh, isn't this cute? What's this for?" I told him. He went, "Oh, okay." And he asked me, he said, "Ma'am, there's $200 here." I said, "Yeah, there's $200 there." Because if it's in bills, I can put it right into the ATM machine and put it directly on the bill. And he looked at me and said, "How long did this take to collect $200? I went, "You don't want to know." He went, "I am curious." I did that in December because my daughter was down at the time, so I can say it's in December. And I had started in September. So September, October, November, December. In 3 months from empty returns. And occasional, if a client pays me in cash versus an e-transfer, it'll go in there. But that just, I've got 4 people in my house that drink beer. So it just accumulates. And I will concede my boys, if they have a spare loonie in their pocket from whatever, they'll just throw it in the piggy bank. So but doing that has dropped this bill from last September. Opening September the 1st, I owed $3,200, and now I'm down to $2,013. That's in 3 months? September, October, November, December. 3.5 months. Now, there is the monthly automatics that come off, but most of that is from this. Or I do an extra client one night and they pay me. It's like, I'm stuck on this. Can you please just come and help me? So all I've done is penny and nickel dimed it to death. That's it. Very focused. All my automatics come off anyways, so it keeps all my other people happy. But I've got this one. And when he's paid off, so that's my next goal, this is my next goal. When that's paid off, then I will take the next one and I will ding it off. Now, what these bills are not credit cards. These are upkeep or improvements to my home. So the one I'm paying off right now is the original new steel roof on my house, which I started 2011, because my shingles were literally flying off. So that was a big one, but it's a steel roof and it's now guaranteed for 50 years. And so it's going to last for a long time. And then another one is the steel roof in my garage. And then there's the siding and the gutters. And what else have I got? Oh, and then there's the car. So I'm just going to ding off one at a time. I guess I ended up owing Canadian Revenue Agency, and I just paid them $50 at the beginning of every month. I paid them, right? And they're going to, if I get any money back, income tax returns or GST checks or anything like that, they automatically take that to pay it off. But I was paying them every little bit extra I could, and I got that paid off. Now I'm paying off this. So that's my goal that I'm working on now. Now, I have basically $2,000 left on this one. I'm hoping by September it's going to be gone. See if I can pull up an extra part-time job somewhere that I can use that to pay it off, because I want to get those debts paid off and not have to worry about those debts. So in these hard times, and maybe not so hard times, this is just this lady with raising $100,000, picking up beer bottles and pop cans for returns, is how she's managed to save $100,000 towards a new house. So there you go, guys. That's my chit chat for today. That's my new plan. My first one, food waste. January is much, much better than December without a problem. Oh, I just thought of it. I got a little container of chicken that needs to go because it's been sitting there for a while. But that's not what I threw out in September. In January is nothing compared to what I threw out in December. Use up what's in your freezer. Don't waste anything. Anyways, and then pick a financial little project and pay off that debt if you happen to have debts. And buy Canadian, buy Canadian, buy Canadian. The double whammy on buying Canadian is we're not supporting America and subliminally sending a little message, which a couple of news reports I've seen is that the American businessmen are going, we know what's going to happen. We're hearing what the Canadians are saying. Okay? So, but that will support our businesses and hopefully cut down the amount of layoffs, because most layoffs are going to come in automotive, in the big industries. But at least you can help the little guys. Next, this is a double whammy. Boycott Amazon. I know it's convenient. I know you go online, you can buy all these things, and it's there in a day, or it's there in 2 days. And Jeff Bezos has made millions of billions of dollars with this idea. But he treats his employees like crap. The number of stories of them not allowed to pause to go to the bathroom. I've heard some horror stories that I'm not so sure I'm believing. But still, he is closing. The unions got okayed in Quebec, and he closed those warehouses. We know why he closed those warehouses, because there was a union going in. So please boycott Amazon. If you see something you want to buy, get it delivered by Canada Post. Get it delivered by, don't love FedEx, but FedEx. Get it delivered by some other way besides Amazon, because this is ridiculous. If you have a subscription to Prime Amazon, do you really need it, people? Find ways to send the message loud and clear that we may be that quiet little beaver up there, but we certainly know how to build a damn good dam, and we're pissed off. So do your thing in any way, shape, or form. Have a good day. Pick a project and see if you can get it done. Take care.